Hello, Irish fans, and everybody who's tuning in. Landon Trailer here, along with Dylan Kearns, John Richards, and Logan Trailer. And folks, let me be clear. We're back. This is the Golden Dumbers Report, back for the first time since 2021. Glad you could be with us here. We're going to be talking Navy. We're going to be talking week 0. It's the Golden Dumbers Report. Let's get it.
I'm excited.
Sir, let's go. Let's go. Good to be back.
We're back and better than ever, no doubt about that.
Can we next time we do this, can we do it in Ireland?
Yeah, I know that's what I'm saying. We could do it in Ireland next year.
Kilts are required, though. Sure that'll trip Logan up.
I don't think they want to see you in a kill.
Kilts and Guinness.
All right. Well, after a year hiatus due to schedules, we have returned with a new way of doing things. John Richards, Logan Trailer, Dylan Kearns, myself here. We're all going to be hosts. There's no more co-hosts. I mean, some weeks, I'm going to be busy with classes, and Dylan's going to have to do it with Logan. JR has kids. He's probably busy. He's going to have to step up and do it with Dylan sometimes. So I'm going to have to do it with myself, with Logan, and vice versa. So it's a new Golden Domes report. We're excited that you could be with us. And Dylan, Logan, JR, how are you guys?
I'm excited. It's been a while. Once I saw the text, we said fired up. I was like, you know what? I'm already fired the hell up. Let's go. This is a good year for Notre Dame football. They're jacked up. We got Sammy South Bend slinging the pigskin around. I'm ready for this season. I don't think I've been this excited for a season in a very long time. And me being a Jacksonville Jaguars fan in the NFL, I can say going into any season, I have never thought my NFL team could make the playoffs, and my college team could possibly make a playoff or maybe even get to the big fucking dance. Sorry for that. But you know what I mean? Like, let's get all over this shit, man. I'm fired up. This is football. This is Notre Dame. We're all ready to go. And we got Navy in week 0. Are you kidding me? We start before everyone else? Hell yeah.
Man, you're fired up this much for Navy?
Yeah. Yeah, the Academy.
You're dropping F-bombs for Navy?
Mm-hmm.
JR, how are you?
I'm great, Landon, Dylan, Logan. Great to see you guys. Awesome to be back. Man, Dylan, he is bringing it early. I'm excited, too. I was watching some old episodes yesterday just to kind of refresh, get all the one-liners fired up and gassed up, ready to go. And, I think the last time we were around, we were having a little fun with BK, Fire BK. I'm sticking with that. Screw LSU. Let's go Irish. Coach Freeman. I think we're up for a big year. South Bend Sammy. I like that. Let's sing that song. Go Irish.
Logan, good morning.
Morning. Excited to be back. Great to see everyone, as always. Really excited to talk Irish football and give us all something to look forward to and be able to talk Notre Dame football, the best football program in the country, with some of your really good friends. So excited to be here.
No doubt about that. Well, let's get into it. Notre Dame is number 13 in the country in the preseason AP poll, which in about 7 weeks will not matter. The AP poll is almost as useless as Dylan's virtual background there. So Navy, they enter the season unranked. New coach, new team, things didn't really work out last year. I believe they had a well under 500 record, which honestly was a shocker to me because Coach Ken usually had his boys, 6-6, 7-7, or 7-5, 8-4 even. First of all, I cannot believe that Coach Ken was fired by Navy. I mean, you fired a guy who honestly built up the Navy football program the last decade. And so, Dylan, I'm going to start with you. Thoughts on Coach Ken getting the boot from the Naval Academy?
He's been there as long as I've been on Earth, it feels like. He's done a great job for that program. And, you're taking over a team like Navy. And that's a hard program to take over to begin with. You don't really have the football talent that you wish you would have at any other program. It's one of the most unique places in the world because you got the Naval Academy and then you also got to play football. You know what I mean? So it's like a mix that you only a few people could probably handle. But Coach Ken handled it well for as long as he's been there. Of course, he has the down year last year and stuff, so they decided to go another direction. But I thought he did a phenomenal job with that and trying to get everything going the way that he did for so many years. I mean, he ran different offenses where the triple option and all that other stuff to where they just have to get yardage. I've said this joke for years. You want a long-term leg issues, you go be a punter at Navy. I mean, you're punting the ball every single game. Like, it doesn't matter. So, I thought he did a solid job there. I thought he got him ready, but I think they just wanted a new voice, wanted a new change there.
Yeah, and then this is where I'll send it to JR and Logan. Coach Ken went toe to toe with Notre Dame and beat them twice. He went toe to toe with Notre Dame, it seemed, every single year. I don't think really anybody can do that at Navy except Coach Ken, JR.
I love Coach Ken. We've talked at length about Coach Ken, and I even threw his name into the mix there in terms of Notre Dame when they possibly replacing the coach, shopping down a different aisle. A place like Navy is kind of on the same page as Notre Dame in that aspect. I have nothing but respect for Navy, for Coach Ken. Not there anymore. I'd love him to find his way down to Bloomington. That would be great. But listen, same storied program, same history and tradition, elevated in Ireland this year. This is the same team that, is going to give everything that they've got. Last year's game, I think they rattled off like 20 some unanswered, and we only won by 3. And I think we were up really big going into half. So first game of the year, first coach, there are some parameters that are going to play into our favor, I think. Second year for Freeman, veteran quarterback. I do have some concerns that I'm sure we'll get into, later down the road, but love Coach Ken, love the Naval Academy, everything that they've done for Notre Dame and the football program historically. So, he's not there. Newberry, your turn. Get ready because it's coming, buddy. Coach Newberry, it's coming.
Tough challenge incoming here for Coach Newberry, Logan.
Yes, obviously, it's similar to the type of kids Notre Dame can get, but obviously different skill sets as far as the athletes as all the academies can get. But kind of counter off what everybody said. Coach Ken did what he did. He found success the way he did, and obviously been a part of a lot of games where Navy, ended up on top, which is frustrating as a Notre Dame fan. But obviously, you tip your hat to what he was able to do and the success he was able to have, in his tenure at Navy. Definitely, there's not a lot of people, in my opinion, that could do that in the country. So, super hopeful that he finds somewhere else in college football to make an impact. I think he's a hell of a coach, but right now, priorities Notre Dame and what Marcus Freeman's able to do in year 2.
Absolutely. Last time these two teams met in Dublin, Ireland, it was a 50-10 Irish victory in 2012. I think Logan, JR, and myself can remember that game very well because it was my Logan and I's Uncle Ryan's wedding day in Bloomington the first time they played. JR was there. We got up at the butt crack of dawn to go watch it in a bar that we got kicked out. You remember that with Keith and everybody. We got kicked out of a bar, and then we had to go watch the game at a breakfast place somewhere because we were being too loud. So it was a 50-10 Irish knocking. Ryan was happy, JR was happy, and then Ryan sealed the deal, kissed the bride, and what way to finish it out?
Great memory.
Yeah, great memory. Last year was a 35-32 Notre Dame victory. It was an ugly, ugly win for Notre Dame. They had a 35-13 lead going into half, and I'm no mathematician, but they did not score in that second half. Navy outscored Notre Dame 19-0 as Drew Pine turned the ball over in the second half. The Irish run game was non-existent in the second half. Notre Dame couldn't do anything right in that second half, and it seemed Navy could do everything right, Logan.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, the difference is you have a different offensive coordinator, which could help. But obviously, when you're playing Navy, Navy has always done one thing when they've played us, and they've scouted really well. So I thought they had a really good scout. I think we started off hot, and then Drew struggled a ton in the second half, and then their offense figured some things out and made us struggle defensively. To beat Navy by 3, that's good and all, but win's a win. But hopefully this year it's different. Hoping that we can execute in the second half, we can play a full game and be able to put a complete game together here in week 0.
Dylan, I don't know if you remember in 2021 when we played Navy at home, we just absolutely demolished the midshipmen at home. It was I think we put up 50 on them, to be honest with you. It was 21-0. We had, Jack Cohn is our quarterback, and it was one after another. This almost feels like a game that Notre Dame is going to dominate here.
Yeah, it does. It feels like it will. But I will say this. You come in with expectations. It's week 0. Everyone's thinking, all right, hey, it's Navy. It's in Ireland. We can go out there and thump them, I also wouldn't be upset if it's just a game where Notre Dame gets by, but they show that they could be a good team. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think going into this week, my expectations are you playing sloppy football? Are you at least finishing drives? Are you playing good? If you can do that, I'm not worried about the win-loss. I'm not worried about how big the victory is. I'm worried about coming out of Ireland with a win, because regardless of that, that's a strange place to start the year. It was like Louisville on a Monday that year. It's just a weird situation that you're put in. But here you're doing it in Ireland. And I think with this team, there's a lot of veteran experience on defense. There's a lot of youth on offense. But I think when you go into this game, as long as you come out with a victory and as long as you see some signs of saying, hey, we're going to progress, then maybe that's something you look at instead of, oh my gosh, Notre Dame only won by 10 today against Navy. No one really cares. Come out with a win. It's early in the year. Just get them ready for those bigger games.
JR, any chance we lay an egg in week 0?
What'll happen?
JR's frozen over there.
There we go.
There we go.
Back.
Did you hear my question, or do I need to restate it?
No, yeah, repeat it. Sorry.
Any chance Notre Dame possibly lays an egg in week 0?
If this was year 1 of Freeman, maybe, but I don't see it. That's not to say that there aren't some questions, though, that need to be answered. New O-line coach, downgrade, in my opinion. A lot of questions on the interior of that offensive line. Skill positions, untested, looks to be loaded with talent, especially on the outside. Tyree in a new role offensively, all kinds of new faces expected to play on defense. So to Dylan's point, yeah, get in, get out, get a W, but I'll disagree. I do think it's important in how we look and building momentum, especially going, towards NC State on the road. We got Ohio State coming in. So there's concern. I don't think I'm concerned with losing, the ever optimistic, Notre Dame fan that I am, sarcastically saying. I think we'll be all right, though. I think we'll put up a lot of points. I think you'll see a lot of new faces play. We should be okay.
Now,
I don't see us losing.
Logan, last season, there was a couple of games where you go into the game and you think, man, Notre Dame really should win this game. You think of Marshall, you think of Stanford. What does Notre Dame need to do to avoid that mindset that, it's just Navy, we got this, in and out, like Dylan said?
I think listening to Freeman and his press conferences, I don't think we're going to have to worry about laying an egg. I think under the, last year, the problem was a lot of it was execution. And as a coach, as JR would know, execution is, prime to being able to finish a game, especially in college football. So you don't have a lot of time in football to be able to correct your mistakes. And, that's the difference between this year. To kind of counter what JR said, I think there's more questions, as a staff than there are as our guys. We have a lot of talent. Obviously, there's question marks in certain positions, but I think, as a fan of college football and whatever team you cheer for, obviously you're saying like, oh, how's our offensive line going to be, or how's our quarterback going to be? I'm more interested to see, okay, how's our new offensive coordinator, Gerard Parker? How is he going to be different from Tommy? What are we going to expect that's different from him? What are we going to expect from our new special teams coordinator after Mason leaving? Is our special teams coordinator going to, be able to, have the level that they were playing at last year, transfer to this year? So, hoping for everything to work out. But, listening to Freeman, obviously he's calm, cool, collected. I think if you listen, to Mayer last year talk about the locker room issues and some of the problems that kind of, were prolonging the success, of the team last year. Hopefully there aren't the locker room issues this early. And so I think that's going to be a big difference. It will be telling. It will be telling Saturday because obviously, week 0, it's your first game. You're going to go and see a different opponent. It will be interesting to see how these guys respond to the adversity because there's no doubt that we're going to struggle, especially early, in my opinion.
No doubt about it. And, a thing that really bugged me from last year was Al Golden's defense. I mean, my goodness, there was times where I would be watching the games and I just have my hands in my head. I mean, that defense last year there was a lot of talent. We didn't give up many points, but there was some plays last year that were just mind-boggling defensive-wise. Now, offensively, Logan, as you mentioned with the new offensive coordinator, I'm excited because we have a quarterback now that can throw deep. It's something that Notre Dame has not had in a long time. And Dylan, I'll throw it to you here. This might be the best offense that Notre Dame has had since 2017 or longer. New offensive coordinator, though, how does that factor into this offense?
I like the change, and maybe this is a bad take, but you know what? I'm just going to ride with it. Maybe you look at someone like Tommy Rees, right? He came in, he did his job. We liked him. Turnover Tommy. He's doing his job. He's moving the offense. Here we go. But I think it was time in a good way. Because you looked at Tommy Rees, how many bootlegs run out, throw to a tight end, how many times we're going to run it up the damn middle, how many times in a big game are we 3rd and 12 and doing a running back draw. Like, there's so many issues that I see, So maybe getting a new voice in there. Schematically getting players in different positions with Chris Tyree moving to wide receiver, moving people around. I think that there's more creativity with this offense that involves more play calling to where you can maximize the potential of the roster that maybe was being held back with Tommy Rees as the offensive coordinator. I honestly like the change. I think Sammy South Bend's going to be slinging that thing around. And it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. I think people are going to be making plays. And I'm really excited to see how Jaden Thomas does with him.
No doubt about it. JR, Navy is never an easy opponent, an easy opener, to be honest with you. I hate opening the season with Navy. It's really rare that we open the season with Navy. So your biggest key to the victory here?
I think the biggest key to the victory, well, obviously the staples, no turnovers, no penalties, tackle, all those things. I think just stay the course, mainly. Let's go back to the offensive coordinator a little bit. I think the success this year is going to be a little bit of a byproduct of the talent and the coach. We're definitely upgraded at certain positions, but I don't also want to fall in love with just slinging the rock all the time. We got a loaded backfield, a big, powerful back with the bowling ball, Estime back there. So, Notre Dame is tough to beat when they hit 40 rushes. I'll just leave you with that little number right there. When Notre Dame hits 40 rushes, they're almost impossible to beat. Are we going to see something a little bit different? Yeah, we will. But I think just stay the course, keep it vanilla. Maybe not show our hand so much because, we've got some priorities coming down the road. Don't underestimate them because the longer that game goes, you don't want them hanging around feeling really good about themselves. But opening up with Navy, I do like opening up with Navy. Get them out of the way. We don't have to prepare for them in the middle of the year. We're kind of on a business trip out in Ireland. So I like the setup. I think stay the course.
Mm-hmm. Logan, biggest key to the victory here in week 0.
We control the pace. As you know, we cannot fall behind and let Navy run 10 minutes off the clock and, get possessions that are running a ton of time off. So we got to take care of the ball, value our possessions. I'm not worried about our defense. I think last year we were prepared as well. It's just that second half was bad for everybody. The first half, kind of was watching it last night. It was like we were prepared. It was a good scouting report from Freeman. Freeman knows, what he wants, and I believe that we're going to win this game, convincingly. But I do think, we can't make as many mistakes as we did last year. And just like JR said, it's not a team you want to hang around and let them hang around and let them get more and more confidence as the game goes on. You got to put them away and hopefully put them away early.
Dylan?
I want to control the line of scrimmage. I want to do that against a team like Navy. Because sometimes, like, over the course of the years, they end up winning that battle. And I think with us, especially with a lot of sophomores on that offensive line, I'd like to see them just move guys around, bully them, put them on their ass, put the Navy Academy on their ass, push them back and make some plays. I want to see us ground and pound, because then it showcases, hey, we still have the opportunity for Sam Hartman to sling it around if we want to. If you come out week 1 and run it down Navy's throat, now we're talking.
Mm-hmm. No doubt about it. Now, me, go deep. Notre Dame finally has a quarterback who can throw accurately down the field. Show it off. It's week 0. You're playing Navy, a team you should beat handedly. You think of the quarterbacks Notre Dame's had. You had Drew Pine last year, Tyler Buckner, Jack Cohn, Ian Book, Brandon Wimbush, Deshaun Kaiser could throw accurately, but Everett Golson, Happy Feet Golson, Malik Zaire. It's just Notre Dame really hasn't had that it factor as at QB since honestly Jimmy Clausen. That kid could throw it downfield accurately. Like, when that ball goes up in the air, it's going to be caught. I feel the same way with Sam Hartman, and we need to show it in week number 1. All right, we're running out of time. We got to move on to week 0 picks. It's our first picks of the year. UTEP at Jacksonville State at 5:30 on the CBS Sports Network. It's going to go JR, Logan, Dylan, and then myself.
UTEP.
Yeah, week 0, not much to say.
Yeah, UTEP.
Logan's going with UTEP as well, looks like.
University of Texas, El Paso.
All right, I'm going with UTEP as well. No doubt about that one. UMass at New Mexico State. Watch out. Tricky one, 7 p.m. on ESPN.
UMass at New Mexico State. Boy, I don't know what the slate is, but what day is this game?
They're all Saturday.
This is up for prison inmate. I'm going to go with, let's go with the home team, New Mexico State.
Sticking with JR, New Mexico State.
I'm going New Mexico State, but I'd like to switch my last pick to Jacksonville State if I could. Get a game up on
I'll allow it. I'm going with New Mexico State as well at home. UMass, boy, I remember when we played them in 2015. They used to be a MAC school, actually. Now I think they're independent, maybe. I'm not sure what they are. Speaking of MAC, Ohio at San Diego State, 7 o'clock on Fox Sport 1.
Tough game for Ohio, but MAC, they're going to play tough. San Diego State, I'm gonna go with them though.
San Diego State.
OU, baby.
Man, I was hoping I was the only one who was going to pick Ohio. I got to stay true to the MAC here. Give me the Bobcats. I'm a MAC boy now here at Ball State University. Hawaii at Vanderbilt, 7:30 on the SEC Network. Watch out for this one.
Clark Lee doing a nice job down there at Vandy, getting some money thrown in behind him with some new facilities. Good for him. Good for Vandy. They still stink, but I'll pick them. I'll pick them this week.
I'm taking Vandy.
Commodores.
I think Hawaii is going to give them a little run for the money. they beat them a couple years ago, if not last year. Hawaii and Vanderbilt always seem to play each other on the first week. So I'm going Vanderbilt though, SEC.
Be careful with Hawaii. Those teams that get thrown into competitive environments coming off of, natural disasters and things like that, and they're on the road, they usually respond and play really well.
Absolutely. I mean, this could be the start of something for Hawaii, I mean, not national championship, of course, but even if they run the slate, go undefeated, that's a good season. San Jose State at number 6, US sucks.
University of spoiled children.
Mm-hmm.
Can't spell sucks without USC, so I'm going USC.
University is sucking. All right. Yep. Trojans.
Good Lord. USC, you might be on suspension when we talk week 1 next week. My goodness, I'm going USC. Florida International at Louisiana Tech, 9:00 on the CBS Sports Network.
Throw a coin in the air. Let's go Louisiana Tech.
Go Louisiana Tech as well. Gumbo.
What'd you say?
Gumbo, baby.
I got Florida International. Just because, Louisiana, they took our coach, which might be a good thing, actually. And finally, number 13, Notre Dame versus Navy at 2:30 p.m. on NBC. Jack Collinsworth and Jason Garrett got the call. JR got the pom-poms.
2 pom-pom guarantee. Irish. They roll big. We're big. They're going to cover the spread, too. Coach Freeman, get on board.
I hope that happens and they cover. I got Notre Dame 37, Navy 13.
I got Notre Dame winning this one 52-7.
To 5. Wow. That okay, don't wake up. The safety. I got Notre Dame here. I think Navy covers, but I think Notre Dame takes care of business by 17 points. I think the line was what, 20?
Navy covers.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I think Navy covers. Week 0.
Testicle Tech. I don't know what's going on over there. Week 1, week 0.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Week 0 for the Golden Domers Report. Glad to be back, and we will see you next week. And as always, go Irish.